Retirement Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And by JGP Janitorial, lose the mop, they'll clean the slop. JGP Janitorial, 548-1221.
And now, Radio K-Man presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio K-Man's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I'm happy to say that in studio with me this morning, I have some guests from CINICO. We have Khalil Strawn and Judy Campbell. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Good. Good morning to you, and good morning to the people of the Cayman Islands.
Same. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
And good job with the name.
You know, the listeners don't know, but we're going to tell them now.
Yeah.
So right before, I was like, wait, I got to get the last names right. I think it's important to get people's names right. Yeah. I think it's very important. So about 6 times here you were trying to do.
Hey, I've
very
had it all
easy.
my life, so you've done well.
Thank you very much. So CINICO, it's my insurance. I'm happy with CINICO. I was just saying that right before, but we're here to learn a little bit more about CINICO and some new products that you guys are rolling out. Before we go into that, I'd like you to just introduce yourself to our listeners, let them know what your role is at CINICO.
Okay, I'll go first. Hi, my name is, Khalil Strawn. I am the general manager at CINICO. I've been there. My team reminded me, I think, this week, 3 years now. My role is to assist us in some of the new products, help staff grow and develop, and I have responsibility for a lot of the key lines of business within the organization.
Morning again. I'm Judy Campbell, and my role is Chief Operating Officer for Property and Casualty Division of CINICO, and that's the new division that just launched early this year in March.
Okay.
So my role is overseeing that department and its growth.
Okay, I guess you're going to have to tell us a lot more about that department then, since it's newer. It came out in March. Wonderful.
Yes.
All right, thank
Happy
you, Judy.
to.
So we were just saying that there is some new products that CINICO is launching. So let's just get straight into that. And I think, Khalil, you are going to take the reins on this one.
So I'll just start just by saying CINICO has been around from 2004. I think when it was first started, it was always the intention that CINICO would be the national insurance carrier for the island. Mm-hmm. What we started with and have been doing for many years, and we hope we've been doing very well with, is providing health coverage for civil servants and pensioners, mm-hmm. Seafarers and veterans. We operate the indigent plan that is available here on island as an ASO, which as a service, we provide a service to the government to facilitate that particular plan.
What do you mean by as an ASO?
So we actually it's a plan that we manage on behalf of the government.
Okay.
As opposed to being a specific product that we actually have, like the Seafarers and Veteran product.
Okay.
And as a Class A entity, all Class A entities, insurance companies on island have to offer the standard health insurance plan, which is known as SHIC. And that primarily is our only outward-facing available to everybody plan.
Okay.
So now we were fortunate, right group of people, right time, when we were asked by the government to transition into this area. We had the right grouping of persons who had expertise in the P&C space.
Well, PNC. We don't the acronyms die.
Listen, I hear it all the time, and I'm sorry to the listeners. Property and casualty.
Okay.
So
the government requested that CINICO consider that to move into this.
It was a request that was provided to us by the minister at the time. Correct.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and so we were able to pivot fairly quickly into that area because of the expertise. Our CEO has been CEO of several different property and casualty companies. His name is Michael Gale, a very good leader. This will be the second time I would fall under his leadership, having worked with him in another entity before. And within a short space of time, we just hit the ground running. Judy joined us about 6 months later.
Yeah.
And for Judy, and she won't say it, but I will say it, she's been in this business for close to 40 years. And she has industry knowledge that is second to none on island. Actually, the first time I would have heard about Judy, I was working somewhere else, and it was on a talk show, and people were congratulating her on her promotion to head of the division at that former place. having not met her, I can tell you it's been a privilege to be able to work with her over the years.
Excellent.
And we were very pleased to be able to twist her arm just a little bit to come and work with us.
Excellent. Wonderful. I love to hear when people are giving others their flowers while they're around, while everybody else can hear it. It's not just an acknowledgement in a small room only for you two, but you just said it on radio for all that came on here. So I love that. Judy, how does that make you feel?
Feel pretty good.
Excellent, as you should, yeah. It's nice to know that it's great because you have to work together.
Yes.
So when people believe in you and what you bring and how you can move the company forward, that's a great thing.
Yes.
I like to hear that. So I'm interested. So government initiated this idea for CINICO to carry the property and casualty insurance. What do you think prompted that?
Well, I think, we go through it. I think fundamentally, what a lot of people may not realize. Again, I won't speak to their specific why they would want to do it, other than to say we're at a place where, one, I think CINICO was always intended to be in this environment. Yeah,
okay.
that was always part of the plan. Two, I believe, we've entered an interesting time as it relates to insurance markets. I think everyone out there is feeling it. If you own a home, you felt it. That in addition to seeing interest rates increase and all this other stuff. But how we're looking to address this is really just to be available to provide capacity for the island. We know CINICO is a fixture.
Mm-hmm.
CINICO isn't going anywhere.
Right.
If you look back through time and history, you may, if you start looking at history and other entities, there might be entities that are no longer on island any longer. That shouldn't happen with the entity to which we are a part of. So we want to position the Cayman Islands, the community, and the people of this community to be in a position to get the coverage that they require to protect the assets to which they've worked so hard to gain in their life. And so without me getting into that space and saying what the ethos is, I can just tell you from where I sit and what I've seen. I think it may have something to do with some of those things that I just shared with you.
And I think you did actually just get right into it right there. So I think that was a great answer. That CINICO does have the capacity to fill the needs that the island has for when it comes to insurance. So I think that's a great answer right then and there. The little sticky details, we can find that out another time if people really want to get into that, right? But we got the new products. I know, so that the property and casualty is something that started, was it March, you said?
Yes, we launched the motor product in March.
The motor product. So
yes,
I'm curious
and then
about this one.
Yes, okay.
Keep going.
Yeah,
sorry.
and we followed by launching the home product in August. Yeah.
Okay.
We wanted to do one at a time, just to make sure we get all the little glitches and stuff, kinks out of the system and so on. So, and make sure our rates, we have our self-price, right in the market.
Okay.
So that's the reason why, we just launched one of the products.
I'd have to say it's a good idea to do the motor insurance one, considering the traffic accidents that have occurred in this island.
Well, we don't want any
years.
accidents, but anyway, we
don't.
Obviously, that's what we're here for. But yes,
it's a good avenue for CINICO. So hey, why not? There's that. Okay, so the motor has started in March. The home insurance has started in August.
Yes.
And when it comes to, I guess, choosing CINICO to go with these insurance products as opposed to a different competitor, what do you think the benefits that you offer are for your customers that are looking to come to you?
Okay. Well, I'll talk a little bit about the staff first.
Go ahead.
The reason we have, well, as Khalil alluded to earlier, we have experienced staff, friendly, ready to assist anyone that, whether they come through the website, pick up the phone and call us, or, come and walk into the office, sit down in front of us and have a discussion. Our staff is ready to assist, and they would walk you right through the various products that we have and explain to you what the products cover, and assist you with which product is best suited for your needs at this time. For the motor product, we offer 3 coverages. We have comprehensive, which covers the own damage for your vehicle, as well as third parties. That is anyone that is not the insured. If their car get damaged or their property or get injured, that policy would cover you. That's comprehensive. As well as we have a new motor product, which is not available in the market, and that is our total loss motor policy. And as it says, total loss. So it's only for, it would only pay out losses where the vehicle is actually a total loss, and that loss has occurred from a collision or from fire or theft. As well, it has the third-party element as well. All policies has that. That is the standard requirement for insurance. So,
what about a natural? So you said collision.
Collision, yes. So if
theft or fire,
if they get an accident with another car, or they a lone accident, they run off the road, hit a tree, then.
What if your tree was parked or your car was parked somewhere like mine was, and a tree just falls on it and crushes it, and if somebody claims that it's written off? Is that,
yes?
Would that would be considered under total loss? Oh,
well, it maybe not considered total. It's just the total loss is based on the extent of the damage to the vehicle. It has to fall within a certain percentage that we say it's a total loss, right? Okay. So the cost to repair that car then is more than actually what the car is valued. So that's where we would look at writing the car off.
Right. That's the adjuster that usually makes that call.
The adjuster engineer would look at the vehicle and determine whether it's a total loss.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, I kind of like that. So there's the comprehensive, there's a total loss, and there's the third.
The third party.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a liability covering protecting you against for any injuries or damage you may cause to another person's vehicle.
And
or
just individual. For me to be clear, CINICO is the only insurance provider that's offering currently the total loss for motor.
That we're aware of, yes.
That you're aware of.
Yes, we have did our market research, and we're pretty comfortable that we're the only ones that offer that.
I like the disclaimer that we're aware of, yes.
and just to say, and it's probably going to come up again in all of our products and how we're looking at this. One of our goals, we want to raise the bar. We want to be a part of raising the bar within the industry. A lot of the stuff you're going to hear us talk about, it doesn't necessarily mean that others can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to be that entity in that organization that is at the forefront of facilitating some of these changes. Listen, insurance has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's been done the same way for probably about the same length of time. But we know when there are different markets, different locations, different entities, not necessarily in the Cayman Islands, that are doing things slightly differently. And so these are the areas in the placement that we want to actually start to look at and see whether there is any benefit to the Cayman market. Because we feel that's our role, and that's what we'd like to do in this space.
I like it. I mean, I think it's, as I said, why did you go into this, right? And then you guys have explained why a little bit. But it's often when I ask clients that come in or any guests that come in, how do you stand out from the competition? You know, what's your niche there? Why would I go to CINICO as opposed to who my current provider for car insurance is, right? And I think you guys gave some great answers as to why. And honestly, raising the standard, raising the bar is really, really important. For me, that customer service part, knowing that there's a differentiation in product, knowing I'm going to be taken care of a certain way, that goes a very long way. Your price, and I'm not saying they are, but even if your prices were slightly higher than somebody else, that customer service component makes all the difference to me. We've got to go to a quick commercial break right now, and when we come back, we'll go into the rest of the information about the new insurance products.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Prior to the arrival of the organized churches, Cayman's earliest schooling system was provided ad hoc by private individuals who taught the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic. Once the churches became established, education and religion became inseparable due to two reasons. One, there was a shortage of funds to create government schools, and two, Caymanians were keen on an education system which would instill Christian virtues and values. This system gave the churches a powerful influence over society, something which can still be felt today. The first trained schoolmaster in the Cayman Islands was John Jarrett Wood, who opened a school in Bordentown in 1844. Mr. Wood was trained in Jamaica by the Congregationalist London Missionary Society and the Interdenominational Miko Normal College. The first public board of education would later be created between 1908 and 1920.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are here. Get your tickets now and win that $40,000 grand prize, $4,000 second prize, and 6 $1,000 prizes. Tickets are only $25. Get your tickets now from any Rotary Central member, Rotary Central ticket seller, eventpro.ky, and 916-7310. Rotarian Annie Rose Scott, the Sister Islands. You may be that lucky winner. Rotary Central, supporting more than 28 projects important to our community. The 29th Annual Rotary Central Music Extravaganza, Saturday, November 30th. Salt's Harbor Grill, Red Bay, the magic of Rotary, through Rotary Central.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
When it comes to keeping the office spotless, we rely on JGP Janitorial. With over 20 years of experience in office and business cleaning, they understand what it takes to maintain a professional environment.
Reliable, efficient, and priced right. GJP Janitorial is the smart choice for any business. For a free quote, call GJP Janitorial 548-1221. GJP Janitorial. Lose the mop. They'll clean the slop. That's 548-1221. Keep your business shining.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Ladies, it's a queen party at Kingpin Bowling every Wednesday with happy hour bowling specials for all of our Cayman queens. Yes, you. 5 until 7 p.m. every Wednesday. Only $7 to bowl with drink specials. Bowling shoes included. Mix it up, walk in, and take a spin for your next girls' night. For more information, call 946-BOWL. That's 946-2695. Or email kingpinbowling@candw.ky.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I have in studio representatives from CINICO. We have Khalil Strawn.
Yeah.
You know, I had it right the first time.
You did.
And we have Judy Campbell. We were talking about the new insurance products that they have, which includes motor and home insurance. There's the property and casualty insurance that was introduced a little earlier in the year. And I think we do have a caller on the phone with us right now. We're going to take the call, but I do want to let anybody know who is calling that if you're calling about any particular claim, the representatives here for CINICO, they cannot answer that. So I ask you to please I guess just be a little concise in your question with them, and don't make it anything personal about a certain claim that you might have, because they can't answer that. So good morning, caller. Thank you for calling the Business Buzz.
Good morning. Yes, I was calling about my claim. I'm just joking. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm like, no. What question do you have for us today?
Yeah, good morning, and good morning to your guests. I think you said Julio and Judy.
Khalil.
Yeah, Julio, right?
This is your friend, isn't it, Khalil? Okay.
I'm sorry if I'm messing it up. That's what I heard. So I'm sorry. Thank you first of all for hosting your guest, and I was listening to you interact with them, and CINICO I know very well, having been a former civil servant, and so I know where you were going in terms of the questioning, in terms of the competitive edge that CINICO may have. And I suppose as a former customer, but just a customer in the market, there's an expectation, I think, from CINICO. There's that view. And I'm wondering if your guest could speak to that view. And that would be, I mean, if we look at the inception of CINICO, the government created that entity to start with to cover civil servants' health care and indigents, seafarers, et cetera, et cetera. One, because the market was very expensive, and CINICO was able to provide that service to the government to ensure that we met our own laws in regards to health insurance, as I recall. And so when I think of CINICO, I think of it of providing real care in real time for people at affordable prices. And so I know you mentioned that price isn't a great consideration for you when you think about service. I would think that's the same for many of us. But I think there's a real, so congrats on your new market. I think that's awesome. In addition to bringing on that new product, perhaps there could be that consideration, I don't know if it is, that you are looking to provide these services at not just competitive prices, but at real value to the Cayman consumer. I think you stand a good chance. They say if you sell 1 million matchsticks at 1 penny and you're making, a profit from just selling it at 1 penny, selling 1 million of them versus 250,000 at $5, or sorry, at $1 maybe, or even a quarter, you're doing a whole lot better. And I would like to see CINICO provide real competition for our local market to drive the prices down. That would be, as a consumer, as a Caymanian, as a public entity with an expectation for that entity, I would love for them to be able to provide some real competition. And you may say there are those out there that say, well, government shouldn't be in that kind of business. Well, why not? Cayman is really providing a noose around the necks of many Caymans in many different areas. And I would, your question was so on target in regards to asking, what would make somebody come to CINICO over, well, why would I go to CINICO if they're providing the same prices as everybody else for the most part? Okay, there may be some, like you said, some little competitive thing, but I tell you what, you will get lots of customers and operate a great service on behalf of the Cayman people that is a public entity if you certainly are competitive from a
I think you make some great points. So I'm going to let Khalil answer you. We only have a couple of minutes, so.
Yeah. So the one of the things I'll say to you is we do have some additional information to share that's going to speak to some of the the things that differentiate us. I want to say to all is, and I think a lot of people know this, we are going to do our best to remain and provide opportunities, services that are going to benefit the Cayman Islands. At the same time, we will be partnering, and there's another side. I don't want to go too far into it, but we and every entity on this island that sells insurance has a responsibility to reinsurers. And we have a responsibility to manage their capital in a manner that may not at present allow us to say, and we're not looking to do that, to be honest. We're going to be a small player in this big pool of fish, yeah? We're, providing innovative products so that you and we as Caymanians can say, hey, we've done a good job in being able to provide products that allow people to get value for money. And I heard you say value for money, and that's going to be one of our focuses. And ensure that we're at the table so we can actually be a part of affecting change. So I'll let Judy start to speak of the benefits to which we are offering, because I think it's going to answer some of your questions as well, whilst not speaking specifically to the lowest cost, because that's not what we're attempting to do. But you will hear about our product.
Yeah, thank you very much, caller. Thank you so much for your comment and raising your perspective as well. We appreciate it, Cleo. I think that was also a great answer. So
yeah, thanks for your call.
Yes, not sure. Did you want to add anything to what Cleo had said, or moving on to?
No, I think
okay,
he covered it.
Wonderful. So I know that we only have a couple minutes. Well, a minute before we have to go to the 8 a.m. news. It's going to kill me. There's also the innovative parametric, is that what it is? Home insurance? Did I get that right?
Yes, it's part of the home coverage. But before we move on to the home coverage, I just wanted to just go back to the motor, because also for the we have a couple other benefits for the motor product, which is the roadside assistant, 24/7 roadside assistance and accident scene assistance.
I love that.
For our customers. They can go on our website and they can find all the information that they need about, how the number to call if they need assistance, and the other benefits for that the roadside assistance and accident scene assistance has to offer.
I love that, Judy.
What we're really excited about, and we're going to launch in the next couple of weeks, we have partnered with Inspire Cayman, and and it's for a program. It's driving. I'm sorry,
defensive driving.
Defensive driving. A defensive driving program, and it's aimed for young drivers, young experienced drivers. We CINICO, and we value our young people.
Yeah.
So we always have a concern about them being new and experienced drivers on the road. So what this defense program allows is that we can get students into the defense driving program before they actually even get behind a car wheel and start driving. So they would have classroom. They would have a classroom setting which would cover, all the road rules and so on, as well as we have simulators where they actually would learn different how to start a car, how to reverse, how to drive around a roundabout, how to drive in weather conditions such as rain. So we're looking at that to help safeguard our young drivers.
Yeah, educate them, kind of empower
Yes.
them to be safer, better
Yes.
drivers.
Yes.
I hate to interrupt you, but we do have to go to the 8 a.m. news. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if CINICO is able to stay a little longer with me. I hope they can. So I'm going to, they said yes.
Yes.
So I put them on the spot and they said yes like that. So I need to do this with all my guests. All right. So we're going to come back after the 8 a.m. news and we'll continue our discussion with CINICO.
Thank you, Kathy. And studio time now by Foster's is 2 minutes after 8.
West Bay, are you ready? The new Foster's Republics has something special for your mornings.
Our brand new breakfast station cooks up the best meals to start your day. And our convenient coffee bar is perfect for grabbing a fresh cup.
Plus, our new deli bakery and made-to-order food stations are better than ever. Whether you're in the mood for a breakfast burrito or a bakery treat, we've got you covered.
We're open from 6:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday to Saturday. So swing by and fuel up for the day.
Discover the improved Foster's Republics in West Bay, making your mornings easier, tastier, and better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The contract for Phase 1 of the Central Scranton Park development has been signed with McAlpine Limited. The official signing took place on Friday, marking a, quote, significant milestone in the realization of the project, which will transform the Central Scranton area into a, quote, vibrant green space. The signing of the contract, worth $2.3 million, represents the construction of Phase 1, which will cover the development of key infrastructure for the park for things like stormwater management measures, pond enhancement works, lighting installation, and the construction of pedestrian pathways, park entrances, gazebos, and perimeter fencing, among other things. Phase 1 is scheduled to be completed in the summer of next year. An additional $597,000 to cover much-needed upgrades at Radio Cayman is supported by MPs and Finance Committee.
Radio Cayman always operates within its budget, and so we have recognized that there has been a significant need for some additional resources, capital being one of the main concerns. The building needs some TLC.
Cabinet Secretary Sam Rose told members the station's annual capital request essentially covers basic upkeep of equipment, with little left over to actually upgrade software or additional building maintenance. Radio Cayman has also been plagued with lightning strikes in the past years, which sucks up funding to replace transmitters and other essential equipment. Mr. Rose told MPs the funds would also, over time, help make up for staffing gaps in areas such as on-air announcers, news production, and sales.
If we do have additional announcers available, it does open up not only additional shows, but we also recognize that there's an opportunity to change the format a bit and to take the approach of podcasting a bit more seriously. There are lots of individuals who would like to listen to shows on demand. We do know that once you're a Radio Cayman fan, the loyalty remains. It's been proven that they hold their audience, but we just want to bring more members of that audience into the fold.
Mr. Rose says this will also include a push to attract younger Radio Cayman listeners by expanding its digital, social media, and video offerings. And in addition to extra funding for Radio Cayman, Finance Committee also approved an additional $1.1 million for the budget item Regulation of Financial Services Industry.
This thing speaks to greater support for the reinsurance sector. Are we looking at additional staff at CIMA in order to do this, or some other type of resources?
Because the number of reinsurance applications are ever increasing, the legitimate concern of the authority in the insurance division is that if they're unable to meet the demand, it might then dissuade the business that's coming to say, well, the regulator is unable to manage the application process.
Fielding Georgetown MP Roy McTaggart's question, Minister for Financial Services, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, said in order to handle the, quote, amount of flow coming in, CIMA needs to have more staff to process these more complex insurance applications.
We're also, within that funding, are also trying to do some appropriate promotion of the industry as well to show that we can handle it. In this space, when I was traveling last in New York, insurance publications aren't as familiar with Cayman as, say, investment fund publications. So we're having to do a number of basic messaging on what Cayman can offer, what our tax model is based on, in a way that they're not as up to speed as if you were speaking to an investment funds publication.
Minister Ebanks said this funding would help CIMA hire specialists as well in preparation for the 5th round of the Financial Action Task Force mutual evaluations expected for Cayman in 2027. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The UN's Human Rights Office has called for an investigation into an Israeli airstrike in northern Lebanon on Monday that's now known to have killed 24 people. Most of those who died in the Christian majority village of Aitu were reported to be women and children. The UN World Food Programme has also criticised the continuing Israeli offensive against Hamas in northern Gaza. One man has been killed and another person wounded in a shooting near the Israeli city of Ashdod. The gunman was shot dead by police. A former British Prime Minister, David Cameron, says the government should impose sanctions on 2 members of Israel's cabinet. He described the Finance Minister, Bezalel Smotrich, and the National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, as extremists. The trial has begun of the former boss of one of Portugal's biggest banks, Espírito Santo. It collapsed a decade ago during the euro crisis. Ricardo Salgado and others are accused of fraud and money laundering on a massive scale. His lawyers say he's innocent. The EU Border Agency says the number of illegal migrant crossings had fallen by more than 40% since the start of the year. Italy and Greece have both introduced tougher measures to block sea crossings from Libya and Tunisia. That's the latest. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The 7 a.m. weather update, weekdays on Radio Cayman, is brought to you by RAM Water Tanks. Call 925-3832 to order your water tank. RAM, built to last a lifetime.
We are now in the hurricane season, and to survive a hurricane, you need to be informed. If you have been informed by official sources that a hurricane is approaching the Cayman Islands, and you live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding or near the beaches, which may be swept by high tides or storm waves, please seek a safe place and high ground. If the only way for you to get to a safe place is a road that is also likely to be flooded during a storm, please leave home early. Don't run the risk of being stranded. This has been a public service announcement from your community station, Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. weather update, brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 84 degrees. Relative humidity is 82%. The barometric pressure is 29.96 inches and rising. The wind is northeast at 4 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicated surface trough extending from the southwest Caribbean will continue to increase the chances for cloudiness and showers today as it moves west of the Cayman area. Light east to northeast winds and slight seas are expected to continue across the area for the next few days due to a slack pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean. Radar images show widely scattered showers mostly south of Grand Cayman, drifting towards the west-southwest. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of afternoon showers and possible thunder, and temperature will be in the low 90s with a heat index near 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. The forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies becoming cloudy at times with a 40% chance of showers and thunder, and showers will be locally heavy at times, and temperatures falling to the upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be easterly at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. We're presently at a high tide, and the next low tide will be this afternoon at 1:59, and a high tide again tonight at 7:42. The sun will set this evening at 6 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:21. And the outlook is calling for an increase in cloudiness and showers expected from tomorrow afternoon as a tropical wave approaches the Cayman area. That's the very latest on your weather report.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Brit K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Brit K, where people come first.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza tickets are here. Get your tickets now and win that $40,000 grand prize, $4,000 second prize, and 6 $1,000 prizes. Tickets are only $25. Get your tickets now from any Rotary Central member, Rotary Central ticket seller, eventpro.ky, and 916-7310. Rotarian Annie Rose Scott, the Sister Islands. You may be that lucky winner. Rotary Central, supporting more than 28 projects important to our community. The 29th Annual Rotary Central Music Extravaganza, Saturday, November 30th. Salt is Harbor Grill, Red Bay, the magic of Rotary, through Rotary Central.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by Cayman Medical Center, Cayman's most awarded private medical clinic, located in the heart of Georgetown. Visit their website at medical.ky or call 623-1000.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look what's happening on our roads. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue traffic is flowing at a good pace in both directions. Steady traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway and coming off of Agnes Way. Traffic is steady coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and continuing on to Huldah Avenue. As we look to the Esther Tibbetts Highway, traffic is moving on moderately in both directions. North Sound Road traffic is steady in both directions and heading towards the Industrial Park area. Expect moderate flow of traffic. Edward Street, slow moving traffic. Remember, there's a new road layout in front of the Georgetown Post Office, so be aware of that as you maneuver the area. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with the creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And we are talking with some representatives from CINICO. I'm very happy that you guys decided to stay a little later with me this morning, so thank you, because I did have this segment got last-minute cancellation yesterday, so I appreciate you staying a little longer, because there's a lot to get out, right? We know that. And Miss Judy, I think that right before the 8 a.m. news, you were starting to talk a little bit about the benefits of motor insurance, and then we went straight into the parametric home insurance. Because of that time constraint at that time, I don't know if there's anything left with motor insurance that you might want to say.
Sure. I just want to finish off when talking about the defense driving program for the young drivers.
Yes.
So if inexperienced drivers go through that program, they complete the program, they pass it, all the requirements, they will get a certificate for that program. The benefit of that, as well as keeping our young drivers safe on the road, is that the parents of those young drivers will actually get a break on the insurance for adding their young child to their insurance policy.
I think that's a great thing.
Yes, and because we know that insurance is very expensive to add a young, inexperienced driver to a motor policy. So at CINICO, actually, if anyone that goes through that program and they are a client of CINICO, they would not be charged a premium to add the young driver, as long as the driver completes the program.
I think that's a great thing. And is it just for young drivers?
It can be for anyone that is inexperienced.
Okay.
But is basically catered to young drivers.
Because I'm feeling like a lot of people might need this defensive driving course that CINICO is offering. I think that's a great thing.
Yes, actually, it may be something down the line that we actually would refer drivers that we have insured if they have a number of accidents.
Yeah. Okay.
To go through that program.
And for me, I would expect there's some sort of a cost attributed to this course.
There is a small cost compared to the cost if you had to pay to add a young driver to your motor policy.
Right.
Yes, it is a cost, but like I said, it's a small cost compared to what you would pay to add the driver.
I think that's a great point.
It is worth it.
Absolutely worth it. It's that extra kind of driver's education and that knowledge, that empowerment you have as a young driver. It's a lot to have in your hands as a young driver, that the power of a vehicle and to know that other lives are really in your hands.
Yes.
So I can understand it can be quite daunting. So the more education, the more we can offer inexperienced drivers to feel a little safer and confident on the road. What a great thing that is.
So just to quickly say, in the past, what we would have done is when there's a young driver coming, you still end up charging an additional rate, but you will sit down. Like I grew up, and you would sit down and speak to that young driver with their parents and kind of share that same information that you just said, which is, hey, I'm about to give you the ability to be behind the wheel of a very expensive or a very powerful vehicle. And back then you wanted to look them in the eyes and trying to get a feel of that young person to say whether you are comfortable placing them in that vehicle. And what we're doing is still the same type of thing, slightly different. And this is what we're talking about, innovation. It's still underwriting. It's still trying to get an opportunity to meet the kids, but give them the opportunities. And so we just thought it prudent and wise to find other ways of facilitating those type of conversations. And that's really what this is. And so hopefully in all of the things that we do, you should see a common theme of us just trying to change things and push the narrative a bit differently every time. It may be small things, but there are these little push that hopefully, again, we all are going to benefit from.
It's always the little steps that lead to a big, greater outcome. So I love it. I think that's a really great initiative by CINICO. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I think the most exciting thing, and I'm going to give Judy some of the flair. This is something that's very exciting. So the previous caller was asking about some of the things that we're doing differently.
Including the value of it.
The value of it. There is this one thing that we're doing that we know nowhere in the Cayman Islands, in the Caribbean, and dare we say, in the entire world that we're actually doing.
Okay.
Specifically about our
home insurance product.
Okay.
So that is parametric cover.
All right, let's hear about this, Judy.
All right, so CINICO launched their home insurance product in August with parametric as part of the insurance benefit under the policy.
I don't know what that means by parametric.
I'll explain to you what parametric cover is.
Thank you.
All right. So what it is that it will pay, CINICO would pay all their insureds who have property insurance with them that has coverage for hurricane on their insurance. If there's a hurricane within 4 to 5 miles of Grand Cayman or 30 miles within the sister islands, and the wind speed is 110 miles or higher, CINICO would pay out a dollar amount to all their clients. They don't have to do anything. Once we know that the storm falls within the criteria, we will actually issue a check to all of our clients who has the coverage within 14 to 21 days.
Regardless if they have damage or not?
Regardless if they have any property damage.
No way.
That is a power, and so that is the difference between an indemnity and parametric. What Judy just described was often referred to as a parametric trigger. If that trigger is met, funds are paid out.
Yes.
Whether there's loss or not. But
there's different, so I'll go on. There are different, there are different percentages that is paid out based on the wind speed of the
makes sense.
hurricane. So, a category 3 may pay out 20% of the dollar amount. And that, I'll give you an example. If your house is $500,000, right? So the maximum payout would be $5,000. Basically, it's 1% of sum insured on the property.
Okay.
All right. So if it's a category 3 storm, the percentage may be 20%. If it's a 4, it may be 40% till you get to the maximum category 5, which you will get the 5,000.
And that will be based on the value of your property.
The 5,000, as I said, 5,000. All right, is the maximum amount for if it's the property for $500,000.
Okay.
The maximum payout is $5,000, right? So, but that $5,000 is only paid out if it's a category 5 hurricane.
Right, which we don't want anyway.
No. We may not
don't
be
want
around.
any hurricanes at all.
No, yes.
So, but if it's a category 3 storm, then the payout is 20% of the 5,000, which would be $1,000.
Gotcha.
So,
right?
so we often look at it like this. So, and you know this, so I'll ask you. So, what do you do when a storm is coming? What are some of the things that you do? How do you prepare for the storm? Tess.
Well, if you want to know with Barrow, I completely freaked out because my landlord said, we're not covering anything. You have to leave, and we'd suggest you go somewhere. And I know I'm coming to work. But there was a moment of piling everything into an upstairs hallway and saying, I'm never going to see you again. That's a really big possibility. Dramatic, but that was how I prepared. Okay. I did prepare, but I did move everything upstairs.
You were not a good example. So
I'm sorry.
Let me flip it. I'll be the preparer. Here's what
That's
I
how
do.
I prepared.
You know me. Make sure you have your shutters on your windows.
I tried.
You would actually buy non-perishable items.
I did that.
if you don't have shutters, maybe you're putting up plywood, sandbags, or all of this stuff.
So basically, it covers incidental expenses.
Right.
Like
All-
you can,
yeah.
for the insurance cover.
Gotcha.
So often those costs occur, and to Julie's point, we call them incidental expenses. So you will get something back off of the policy that kind of would have helped offset those costs that you would have dealt with.
Gotcha.
And for
Right.
us,
which makes sense.
yeah, for us,
Huge.
we are. I mean, for us, this is the type of things that we are excited about because we feel that it actually starts to change the narrative. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I mean, you heard me be like, no way. I think it's amazing. I think we have a caller. Okay, the caller's still there, so we have a caller. Thank you for calling the Business Buzz. And just a reminder that if you are calling about a particular claim, we cannot answer anything about a personal claim of yours, okay? Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Catherine. This is Cresswell Powery.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Thank you for
I just want to congratulate your the people from CINICO about starting the driver's education program.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Defensive driving. It's a very, very good idea. I was a driving instructor for I think it was 40 years, and that was what I taught, driver's education. Unfortunately, I'm unable to do so now because of my physical condition. But I would also like to say that besides having young people, in the program, I know it would require probably amendments to the law, but anyone who is convicted of a motor vehicle offense or driving offense rather should be one of the penalties should be to enter that program, because a lot of people out there that is driving should not be on the road.
Agreed.
So, I think it's a very good program. If there's any way that I can help, please feel free to contact me. My telephone number is 925-3834.
Thank you, Mr. Powery. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir.
That was a really kind offer. I love that kind of collaboration. Yeah. Giving you your flowers, but also saying I'm here for the support and to help you if you guys need it. And Khalil, I know that you appreciate what he said in the sense of if a driver has, been found guilty for a driving offense, that perhaps one of those kind of penalties should be to go into something like a defensive driving course that you're offering at CINICO. So hopefully that it can get to that point. We can structure something like that.
And I'll be clear, that may require a lot more communications and partnership with a lot more entities than ourselves. We're here, thought leaders is a key term that keeps thrown around. If we're able to facilitate those types of discussions and conversations, I think we would have actually been a part of. I think we'd be proud of that. And right now, that's kind of where we are. I do appreciate what Mr. Powery has shared with us. And I might actually also share a lot of his views, but that might be beyond the scope to which I can actually implement. But we are more than willing to have those conversations.
Absolutely. I think it's a great thing. It's a starting point.
Yes.
And as you said, CINICO's doing things differently. And we can absolutely see that here. I know we got to go to a break soon, which means you guys are going to be finished with us. So before we do that, I do want to ask a couple questions as it relates to the parametric home insurance.
Sure.
So does anyone who seeks home insurance with CINICO, does that mean anybody who gets this home insurance is eligible for the parametric?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as they have they're built-in insured.
And by that, our policies automatically comes with this coverage. It is a part of a benefit. It's a benefit to our policy offering.
Yes,
Okay.
it's not optional. It's included. Yeah. So
now, what about for people who are renting?
No, if you just have contents insurance only, the benefit is not available.
Okay.
Right.
To turn back to the home insurance again, and as you had mentioned with the motor insurance, I think there was 3 different tiers of motor insurance. Do you have different tiers when it comes to the home insurance as well?
Yes, we have another product, home product, which we refer to non-cat, which basically it excludes all the catastrophe perils like hurricane, earthquake, windstorm. So it would cover the lesser events such as like burst pipe, theft, burglary, and fire, which fire can be catastrophe.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Yes, but it's considered not part of the catastrophe events.
I thought, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I thought that after Ivan that it was a requirement for all homes to have home insurance or a certain kind of level of it that dealt with hurricanes. I don't know because I'm not a homeowner, so I don't know the exact phrasing here.
No.
Okay.
What we found during Hurricane Ivan, and and to some extent now still, is properties not being insured for their replacement value.
Okay.
So a lot of insurers tend to insure their property for not the correct value. So they're penalized at the time of a claim. So what they're expecting to get, they're not getting. Gotcha. So that's why we try to educate our clients as much as possible, let them know that their property should be insured for what the replacement value is, what it would be, what would cost them to rebuild that home today. All right. So, and if they don't have a current valuation, get a valuation done to ensure that their values are accurate.
How often would you suggest that people should get their home evaluated?
I say every 3 years at least. Yeah.
It's a great suggestion.
Yes.
And we're working on one of the next things that we're probably going to roll is something to kind of look to address that as well. Again, it's about us not just saying it, but trying to find solutions to some of these problems.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
If there's any lasting thoughts you'd like to leave with our listeners, please do so now. Because I know you got to go, and we got to go to our next commercial break. So if there's anything you want people to know, how to get in touch with you, anything like that, let them know.
Yes, I would welcome anyone that is interested in CINICO insurance products. Give us a call, and we're gladly available to assist you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you both. I think you were great, and I'd love to have you back again when you're ready in the future. And I'd love to hear about how these new products are going, what people's perceptions or their feedback is on it. So thank you so much for joining us. And CINICO, I might be calling you in about a year when it comes to car insurance.
Yep.
We've talked about that offline, so we'll continue that conversation another time. We're going to go to a commercial break right now. Thanks for joining us this morning, CINICO.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Talk Today is going on the road. Radio Cayman is pleased to broadcast Talk Today live from the credit union on Thursday, October 17th in honor of International Credit Union Day.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from the inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
When it comes to keeping the office spotless, we rely on JGP Janitorial. With over 20 years of experience in office and business cleaning, they understand what it takes to maintain a professional environment.
Reliable, efficient, and priced right.
GJP Janitorial is the smart choice for any business. For a free quote, call GJP Janitorial 548-1221. GJP Janitorial. Lose the mop. They'll clean the slop. That's 548-1221. Keep your business shining.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my faith in rock my soul in the blues of my faith in
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it. The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller. Business Buzz.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and in studio, we just had CINICO, and we had a great conversation hearing about a few of their new insurance products. And I think for me, hearing about some of the things that they're offering at CINICO, I absolutely love. So they were telling me even during the break about some kind of different offerings that they do have with their motor insurance policy. And I was just super impressed. So I'm like, okay, CINICO, it looks like I'll be calling you guys within the next year when it comes for me to renew my motor insurance policy, because I'm pretty impressed with what they're doing. I love the fact that they are very focused on a great customer service and just trying to be innovative in their product offering and trying to offer good value. I do have CINICO as a government employee, clearly, for when it comes to health insurance. And I was one of those people for the longest time thinking that CINICO was only available for civil servants. And that is not the case. Unfortunately, we didn't cover that little point that people often think that CINICO is only for civil servants. That is not the case. So if you do want to get in touch, I think they left you some information. CINICO, you can Google them. I didn't write. Oh, I do have their number right here. What am I talking about? The office number is 949-8101. You can give CINICO a call there if you're interested to learn more about their home, their property insurance, their property and casualty insurance, and their motor insurance. And one of the big new things that Miss Judy was telling us about was the innovative parametric home insurance. And it's a bit of a groundbreaking feature for Cayman and the first of its kind in, I guess, this regional market. And they said, quote, as we dare say, perhaps the world. So this parametric cover is included as a standard in the CINICO insurance policies, and it provides immediate payouts based on measurable events like a hurricane, and it's in accordance with the hurricane wind speeds. So rather than requiring physical damage claims, CINICO is offering homeowners financial support for unexpected costs, and it's a certain percentage depending on what those wind speeds for a hurricane might be, for example. So I love this. I think it's great. Thank you for CINICO for joining us this morning. And I'm going to go in and talk a little bit about the awards gala that was held by the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association this past Saturday. Many of you do know that I am vice chair on the association, And so because I don't have my other guests here for this segment, I get to talk about how well our association did in putting out this gala, which was a lot of fun. An amazing conference on Friday. We had the global brand manager for Spotify, which if you're a big music fan and you're listening to any digital streaming platform, Spotify and Apple Music are the two biggest in the world. Spotify being a lot more personalized to listeners. So we had the global brand manager for Spotify here. We had the global inclusion marketing manager for Twitch, which is a live streaming platform. And it's really great for creators. I would go on there to listen to certain DJs when they're having particular sets. They go on Twitch. They stream from Twitch. And, there's no commercial interruptions that you might get on other streaming platforms. Great thing. I loved it. So we also had her as a speaker. We had Claudia Harvey, who is a Dragon's Den winner and a really successful entrepreneur. She's president of BG Wealth Group. And she spoke about her journey as an entrepreneur and building businesses and how just to kind of keep your brand consistent and alive and through all the transitions that you're going to go through as a business owner that's really just trying to make it out there. I found her speech super inspirational. I absolutely loved it. We had one of our favorite speakers of the day was Tedrick Green of Ted Green Fragrances. He has had his business for 17 years. He's a Caymanian who started this business as a teenager, and it is now what he does full time. And it's not easy. So to say 17 years later, he's now able to do this. So that shows the longevity, the resilience, the passion, the consistency that is needed and that it takes to grow a brand and a business and to hopefully have it sustain you at some point in life. Because I think that would be the goal for anybody who is trying to have a business or be an entrepreneur. We eventually want that business to be able to sustain us in our life and hopefully generations to come. Depends how successful we get with that. So in saying that, that was the conference on Friday. It was a great event. We had around 100 attendees. And I'm going to compare this to a conference that happened the day before. And that conference was, I think, Spectrum, which is for financial services, another great conference that is offered for the financial services industry. And I think Spectrum was saying that they had around 170 attendees. And I think that's a great number for a conference for the Cayman Islands, especially in an industry that employs thousands of people. You better have that many people at your conference. It's needed. We need that. For us at SIMPA to have 100 people attend our conference, we don't have thousands of people employed in marketing in the Cayman Islands. So to know that we had a really, really great turnout, to me, it was a beautiful thing to see. To see that we had a sold-out gala, about 140, 150 attendees that were there to celebrate the marketing and creatives in Cayman was a beautiful thing. And I'm here to let you know who the winners were in the awards gala this year. So there was 9 different nomination categories, and this is where we started. So the creative professional of the year is given to somebody who's like a graphic designer, an illustrator. They don't have just a marketing role, but they might have a different kind of creative aspect in the job that they do. It could be a copywriter, it could be a videographer. So the creative professional of the year was given to Delano Myers of Airview Media. He's doing a three-peat. So for 3 years in a row, he has won this award. His work is absolutely amazing. If you ever get to work with Delano Myers from Airview Media, you are in the great hands. So congratulations to Delano. Video of the year was won by Dart for their Time Back video. If you do not know about the Time Back video, I don't know what to say. Just go find it. Time Back Video and Dart. They won Video of the Year. Congratulations to Dart. The Cayman Islands Health Services Authority won Brand of the Year. So congratulations to HSA. Big clients of Radio Cayman, friends of Radio Cayman. Congratulations to HSA. They've put in a lot of work over the year when it comes to website redevelopment, logo revamping. HSA, congratulations. I'm really glad you changed the logo for HSA there. It's a lot more modern and speaks a lot more to what HSA, who HSA is. The Community Impact of the Year. That went to the Breast Cancer Foundation for their Beyond the Scar fashion show. So congratulations to the Breast Cancer Foundation on winning that, the Community Impact. Marketer of the Year goes to Natalie Porter, also a friend of the Business Buzz. She works with Tortuga Rum Company. She's a marketing manager over there. And Natalie's hiring, I know that much. So if you're looking for a marketing job, a marketing assistant kind of job, talk to Natalie at Tortuga Rum Company. And congratulations, Natalie, for becoming Marketer of the Year. We have one of my favorite people out there, Danielle Watler of Out of the Blue Agency. She won Agency of the Year. And if you were there to hear Danielle's story, it was absolutely heartwarming, and I definitely got some tears, so I'm not going to say any more in case I get some tears now and, summarizing what her story was. But congratulations, Danielle Watler, for winning Agency of the Year. Campaign of the Year is another big friend of Radio Cayman, and that's CG Britkay, introducing Aunt Angie. That is what CJ Britkay won for Campaign of the Year, and they did a phenomenal job. We do the radio ad component for Aunt Angie, but I've seen all their social media and print components, and CJ Britkay, you absolutely deserve that. Way to go. Website or App of the Year went to the Hurley's app under Hurley's Marketplace. So check that app out if you have not and you're a shopper at Hurley's. There's definitely some great benefits in there for you. The Rising Star of the Year went to Rebecca Walcott Romani. She's from Health City, Cayman Islands. Rising Star of the Year. So she's one of those future marketing leaders that the Cayman Islands gets to benefit from. And also, Health City Cayman Islands is also a friend of Radio Cayman and the Business Buzz Show. Tedrick Green. Tedrick Green was up for, I think he entered Brand of the Year. But every year, well, not every year, new for SINPA is that they're trying to introduce a different award each year. And although Ted entered a different nomination category, he won an award called Made in Cayman. So not only was he a speaker and he spoke about Ted Green fragrances and his whole product line and the innovative marketing approaches he takes, but he was also awarded the Made in Cayman Award by SINPA this year. So those were all our awards this year. Congratulations to all the winners. Thank you too much to all the people who did sponsor the awards. I think it's really important that we do acknowledge the people that we're working with, no matter what industry they're in. We always kind of see the people at the front of a business, but we don't always see the people in the back making things happen for that business, the people who are really kind of pushing those communications out, pushing the brand perception out, working on the PR side for the business. We don't always see that. Those people aren't always celebrated. So I'm really happy to see that in our community, we were able to celebrate the marketing and creative professionals that are definitely making a difference and leading the way. We got to go to our next commercial break, and when we come back in our last segment, little 10 minutes left of the Business Buzz, I'm going to talk a little bit about the beach erosion and what's going on there, and I'd like to get your thoughts. So join me after the commercial break.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
I am Daryl Dakers from Health for Today, and I'm here with Carlos Ebites. Carlos, your brother Mario mentioned that you were feeling really down, both mentally and physically, so he purchased a bottle of Optimal Balance and gave to you.
That is correct. I was feeling so very down and out, lonely, sad, depressed, zero energy, unable to sleep, pretty much in the dumps. But once I began taking those Optimal Balance, let me tell you, it was a transformation from the dumps to the top of the mountain. I cannot thank Health for Today enough for giving me a life worth living.
This is no surprise. With its balanced vitamins and minerals, Optimal Balance for men and women helps your body with healing and to perform at its optimal best. It's great for sleep, brain fog, mood, stress, and mental clarity. Optimal Balance is one of the most comprehensive and complete supplements in the world. So call Health for Today at 928-1503 or visit our website, that is healthfortoday.ky. Health for Today, dedicated to helping others.
Mention that you you've heard this ad on Radio Cayman and get an automatic 5% discount off your next purchase. 89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advance notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
The Business Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. I'm Kathy Miller, and we're in our last stretch here. I know everybody's probably in work. If you're on the road, I hope you're keeping safe. Here and there, there's little showers pouring. It's kind of inconsistent with the weather right now. A little annoying for some of us out there, for sure. 1 minute you're walking, you think the sky is clear. You're walking on the way to get some lunch, and boom! Next thing you know, it looks like it feels and it sounds like a crazy hailstorm. So just be careful. Know that if you are going anywhere and you're walking, take an umbrella. Even if it's in the parking lot, straight from the car into your office, take an umbrella. Because trust me, I've seen some people yesterday waiting for a good 20 minutes before they could get to their car. They didn't want to get soaked in that pouring rain that just hit us yesterday afternoon. But we're in that season of it, just a little bit longer to go. And there is a system, I think, that has formed. It's been there for a few days now, so keep your eye on that as well. And that leads us straight into beach corrosion. So if anybody wants to give me a call, share any of your thoughts as they pertain to beach erosion. Did I say corrosion earlier? Anyways, beach erosion. Do call me. You can WhatsApp call or send your thoughts at 925-3261. You can call 949-6990 or 1-800-534-8255. We know that in the past 5 years or so, could have been longer, but time just, for me, has really honed in on the past 5 years or so. And I don't know what's happened in the past 5 years. It's gone so fast. There's been an incredible deterioration of 7 Mile Beach. We all have seen it. We've seen the video. Compass Media has done a great job in documenting a lot of that erosion. I love some of the videos they have on their social media that shows them just taking a boat, going around the island and checking out what's going on. And we'd seen that especially after Tropical Storm Helene hit us. They did that, and they were able to show the damage right away that we received on the coastline from Helene. So some say that coastal damage is partially due to too much development along the coast. Many think it's mostly just due to climate change, but I think a lot of us can agree that we have seen changes in increased storm intensity, which has impacted Cayman's landscape greatly through these past 5 years. And by storm intensity, I mean when we used to get a tropical storm, it wasn't uprooting trees. Not like it has in the past few years. I think 2 years ago, we had a really crazy tropical storm, and I feel like that did more damage than a Cat 2 or Cat 3 hurricane did as it passed Cayman a few years before that. So it's interesting to see the intensity of the storms, how they just keep gradually getting more intense, and how that is damaging Cayman more. So along with the storm intensity building, the beach erosion is also attributed to a rise in sea level, which has to do with climate change, and the changes to offshore wave conditions, which is something I would know absolutely nothing about, and I would need somebody to explain that in depth so we have a better understanding. But knowing that it's changes in storm intensity, rising sea levels, offshore wave conditions, and what some people think also is a little bit too much development along the coast, these are all the contributing factors as to our terrible beach erosion. Now, as I said, we had Helene, Tropical Storm Helene, pass us just a couple weeks ago. And we've had a few systems move beside us, which does include Helene. There's 2 hurricanes in 2 weeks formed in the Gulf, which is super crazy. And as Helene passed us as a tropical storm, we know that she did, that was the last one, we know that she did some damage to 7 Mile Beach. And I'm going to go back to 2021 when government officials did walk parts of 7 Mile Beach to assess then the beach erosion, and a committee was established to work on this. There was a $21 million fund towards replenishing the beach, but allegedly meetings on this subsided in 2022, and there has been nothing further on this committee that was looking at how to deal with the beach erosion, and nothing further on that $20 million fund that was dedicated towards replenishing the beach. It has been confirmed that there is nothing in the 2024-2025 budget regarding beach replenishment. Yet, in 2021, this was considered a national priority. What happened that changed the beach erosion from being a national priority? Is it a current focus or not? Are we only reacting to it after a storm comes and then kind of putting it to the side? I don't want to say forgetting about it, but are we only reacting to it after a storm hits us? So, kind of curious as to know why this committee, I guess, I don't know if they officially disbanded, but why they are no longer perhaps working on trying to find solutions for the beach erosion problem. So how do we replenish the beach? What does this mean? This is a really long, in-depth conversation, but we only have a few minutes left, so just putting out some ideas there. Does this mean moving structures back? Does this mean for any future development we have to look at pushing the property lines back further? I mean, I think that's an obvious yes. I can't remember what the Plan Cayman draft planning statement had, but it'd be interesting to just revisit that and see when it came to the coastal development what the plans were suggested for coastal works. So anyways, there's the idea of, changes to the planning guidelines, which is coming, we know that. But right now, what changes are needed when it comes to approaching development along the coast? 7 Mile Beach is said to not start by the Marriott anymore, that it's more further down by, I guess, Palm Heights, across the street almost from Lone Star, down in that area. And that's a good mile or so of beach gone. And 7 Mile Beach wasn't already 7 miles anyway. It was a little shorter than that. So then there's that to look at too. So are we going to now be 3 Mile Beach? We need to know, because the beach is one of our greatest assets. It's one of the most, it's a natural, beautiful asset of the Cayman Islands. And a lot of people are vacationing and coming here because of how beautiful our beaches are and how safe it is just to be on the beach here. It's super safe, guys, compared to a lot of other countries. You can safely just leave your stuff on the beach in Cayman, go in the water, and don't have to worry about people rolling by and stealing your stuff. Happens once in a while, but not too often. So how do we protect that beach? There was an article in the Compass, I think it was October 4th, and that article had noted, it was talking about the beach erosion, and it noted that the Marriott had lost 1/3 of its revenue because of erosion. The Royal Palms deck is breaking off into the sea. The foundation is lifted, and although the 2-story building we know is supposed to be demolished, but the rest of the property that's left, it's supposed to be opening back up, right? Royal Palms is supposed to be opening back up pretty soon. There was a small delay in getting it open, and now I think with Tropical Storm Helene passing Cayman, I hope that doesn't make the delay even worse. And I say that because we are going to be talking with Handel Whitaker in a couple of weeks, who is in partnership with DART to reopen what is left of Royal Palms. So hopefully we will hear more from Handel. And hopefully he doesn't say, no, Kathy, let's push the interview back a little closer to when I'm going to reopen again. So we're going to hear a little bit more in what will happen with Royal Palms when Handel Whitaker joins us. I'm going to say it's the 25th. I really don't know the dates, but it's a Thursday. It's not this Thursday. It's the next Thursday on the Business Buzz. There's the idea of pumping more sand onto the beach, bringing more sand. DART had a huge study done, and they're saying it's one of the biggest comprehensive studies on beach erosion and how we can replenish the beach. And they have suggested that there should be, I think it's 2 sand engines that are offshore that are somehow kind of distributing sand along the beach. So they have that suggestion happening. There's other things out there. I just suggest that the citizens, the residents, that go and look at what these suggested solutions can be, and just think about this. This is one of our greatest assets. If we are losing hotel stays and Airbnb stays, that means government revenue is down. That means less people are coming to Cayman and staying, meaning less money being spent in the Cayman Islands, less money running through our economy. So if the beach is one of our greatest assets, we really have to seriously make it a national priority in replenishing the beach and protecting it, not just for our generation right now to enjoy, but all the future generations to enjoy in the Cayman Islands. It's one of the greatest things about Cayman. Let's keep it. Let's beautify it. Let's work on this. Hopefully we'll get into another discussion on that later on. But I know we're booked up in the Business Buzz, but when I get these little moments, I like to bring these subjects up. So beach erosion is a big one. Become familiar with it and understand what the private-public partnership suggestions are out there, because your feedback is important. This is you're a stakeholder in this. I'm going to leave you with that thought. Thank you so much for joining us on the Business Buzz this morning, and I will be with you on Thursday.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. And by JGP Janitorial, lose the mop, they'll clean the slop. JGP Janitorial, 548-1221.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Radio Cayman